about here, the fire truck pulls out, and I would expect that the flight crew saw it maybe at the last second as it pulled out. And on the video that you're showing, I can actually see the fire truck turning slightly or more than slightly to the left, because I think they saw that aircraft at the very last second.
Once you hit the gas pedal and the guy is on the radio saying, stop.
Stop, truck one, stop. Stop, truck one, stop.
You would think if you were paying attention, you would hit the brakes.
We rarely, if ever, investigate a major accident where it was one failure.
Let me tell you something that you need to know about Medicare. Most Medicare agents are not working for you. They're working for their commission. That means they'll push whatever plan that pays them more, even if those plans don't fit your needs. And I don't respect that. What I do respect this chapter. They make sure that you understand all of your options. They don't hide the downside. They don't rush you. They lay out the pros and the cons, then compare every plan to your specific healthcare needs. Because the goal isn't to sell you something. The goal is to get you the right coverage. One chapter member, Donna, said her advisor walked her through every option, explained everything clearly, and ended up saving her thousands of dollars, and that's not unusual. Chapter often saves people over $1,000 a year on healthcare costs just by helping them enroll in the right plan for their needs. So if you're on Medicare or you're about to be, don't guess. And don't let the government or some agent hustle you. Call Chapter at 646-741-4126 for complete Medicare guidance. That's 646-741-4126. Let's get to LaGuardia real quick. I just want to give a quick update. That was an incredibly tragic situation that happened. Obviously, people feel like there's a lot of blame to go around, which there is. And I want to give you guys some insight on what could have happened in this crash if you have not already seen it. We have audio of the actual communication with the tower. We also have some experts that are bringing up questions that make you think about it, make you wonder who was really at fault and how do we prevent this in the future. Real quick, we're going to touch on this, and then we're going to get to ICE at the airport. Roll the clip.
There's a safety system in place at the LaGuardia airport that should have prevented this Air Canada disaster. So why didn't it? Well, let's look at that safety system. The FAA calls it the runway status lights, and essentially, it's installed for the single purpose of preventing runway incursions. It's a fully automated program designed to automatically signal pilots and vehicle operators when it's unsafe to enter or cross the runway, or even that it's unsafe to begin a takeoff roll. Now, look at the scenario that the FAA puts on their website. The signals show red for this vehicle, making it stop, waiting for that airplane to cross. Now, at LaGuardia, the ground controller gave the airplane landing clearance and gave clearance to the fire truck. What's particularly interesting, though, if you look at the video, is that you see flashing lights in the runway environment, indicating that these runway entrance lights were working. Guidance from the FAA says what precautions should be taken if verbal clearance is received from the tower, but the lights are illuminated. The clearance clearly states here, pilot vehicle operators should hold short of the runway and advise air traffic control they're holding for red lights. So, I'm not placing blame. However, this is going to be a significant thing that the National Transportation Safety Board will investigate. By the way, this system is installed at 20 airports around the country, including the LaGuardia Airport and including Orlando International Airport. So there you go, something else to look for in this investigation.
You know, one thing I wonder, I've never done, air traffic control, so I have no idea what demands are on those people. One thing that I do wonder is that if you're in a fire truck and the airplane is landing, the lights are on, lights are flashing. Even if the air traffic controller tells you you're free to go, I would assume you would go, all right, he said I was free, and let me do a visual survey so I know that I'm free to go. I don't know what happened. Like, I've never been in a fire truck, so I don't know what he could see, but you would think that what happens is, and I'm not saying this is this situation, but what happens is people get into a sense of complacency, meaning that they're just going by no crash has happened in 100 years. It's never going to happen. Am I free to go? Okay, I'm free to go. Boom, boom, boom. I'm hoping that that's not what has happened. if it has been a situation that it happened that way, then we know that this could have been 100% preventable, and it's not like there's some tragic thing going on where planes are going to start crashing every single day. I did listen to the audio of air traffic control, and you can hear that. Here we have it available. Roll it.
One of the things the National Transportation Safety Board is going to want to try to understand here was controller workload, because what we hear on the air traffic control audio mainly is one voice, one controller who appears to be handling everything that's going on the ground at LaGuardia. And as that Air Canada flight was coming into land on runway 4, on the other runway, a United flight has aborted its takeoff. They received a warning light in the cockpit as they were starting their takeoff roll. They hit the brakes, they come off the runway, they radio that they had this issue, and now there is an odor in the cabin. The United captain declares an emergency because the odor in the cabin, flight attendants were starting to complain it was making them sick. You hear the fire truck asked to clear runway 4.
Truck 1 company, cross 4 Delta.
They get permission to drive across the runway.
4 at Delta.
Seconds later, the controller realizes his mistake and tries to stop it.
Stop, truck 1, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop.
Now, just real quick, just my feedback, because there's a lot of blame to go around, and obviously the air traffic controller is going to take the most heat. But when I was looking at that, I said, you would think that an active runway, airplanes are flying through the sky. If the air traffic controller says, yes, you're free to go, you look both ways. I bet you that's protocol. It doesn't matter what he said. He can make a mistake. You got to also have a visual of what you can see in your purview and make sure that he's not making a mistake. But then you would think that once you hit the gas pedal and the guy is on the radio saying, stop. I mean, he had to have been saying stop for like 3 or 4 seconds straight. You would think if you were paying attention, you would hit the brakes or you would divert. But it seems like there was a mistake on a lot of different areas. And it's almost impossible for the airplane to stop because it looked like the airplane was landing. But the person driving the fire truck, and it appeared to be the traffic controller, may have needed to do something different. So I just wanted to give a quick update on that because it was something that I thought about. You know, it obviously happened and some updates came yesterday when I wasn't on.